Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my show, Late Night with Rebel. I'm your host, Ewan Rebel here, back again with another interview. This is interview 291 tonight, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Just a quick reminder, if any questions in the chat, you can use exclamation point questions with an S. It's also my stream title, and that allows you to put through a question with your name, and we'll get to it in about an hour or so. And also, if you're ever curious who I'm interviewing, you're like, who's this person? You can always put exclamation point guess with an S in the chat as well, also in the stream title, and it links to OkayDonuts Twitch channel as well. But anyway, without further ado, let's introduce our guest. Coming from behind the curtains, OkayDonuts!
Hello! What's going on?
Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, my man? If you like, take the seat next to me.
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Great. Like, you're full of energy, man. I feel like
on down here.
I feel like I don't need to drink coffee. I just need to, like, be in your presence, and I just feel more alive, Yeah.
I have that effect on people, I've been told.
I believe it. But anyway, so are you nervous? Are you excited for this?
I'm a little jittery, yeah.
Okay,
I won't lie,
okay.
but yeah, I'm excited.
All right. Have you ever
I'm
been
trying to make sure I'm framed up correctly. I feel like I'm too high. There we go.
Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes you have big people, small people, so the camera can only fit so many people. But no, we got you.
I'm too large.
Yeah. Anyway, is this your first time being interviewed? I'm just curious.
In VR chat, I think this is. Yeah, this is the first for me.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I appreciate for stopping by and being a part of this. Obviously, I interviewed Slushy and they were telling me about you, so I was like, oh, who's this OkayDonut?
Love you, Slushy.
Yeah. Shout out to Slushy. And I see a bunch of people from your community hopping over, excited for this interview as well.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, they're like, where's the tail? Give me the tail. They want the wiggles. Anyway.
Yeah. Thing.
Yeah. They like the wiggles. So, we'll ask you some questions. It's not an interrogation. I'm not a police officer. But obviously, I just like to know a little bit more about you. And obviously, maybe some people in the audience may be able to learn something about you as well. So one of the first questions is like, well, how'd you come up with the name OkayDonuts? I'm just curious. What's the story behind that?
Sure. If it's okay, I'm just going to give you the long version of every answer. Is that
yeah,
appropriate?
That's fine.
Oh,
you got like 2 hours to kill.
Awesome. Let's do it. Yeah. So typically when people ask me that question, what I tell them is that OkayDonuts actually started as a group, and that's a big reason why it's a plural name, not OkayDonut. It's OkayDonuts. It was supposed to be me and a few other friends, all being content creators. Just making like YouTube videos and streaming and stuff like that. And we did that for a while until eventually, naturally we just sort of drifted apart. People got busy. But I still had access to all the social media, and I wanted to do stuff with it. I still wanted to stream. I still wanted to make content. And I just asked the guys, I was like, hey, do you mind if I just rebrand as like a snake furry? They were like,
Scaly.
Go for it. So here I am.
Yeah. I get you. And then you did, and here you are. It makes sense. I mean, you might be the first like scaly I've interviewed, probably. Or like, scaly is a subclass of a furry, right? I'm not an expert, but I think that's right.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. Why snakes though? Like, why specifically like a snake or?
So when I first started doing the furry thing, a bunch of friends of mine we started out with VR chat, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of friends of mine were like, Donuts, you got to get like a persona, which is like your furry persona.
Yeah.
For anybody who doesn't know, and it's like you got to get like a persona. And I was like, okay, I'm not against that. I'll get a persona, but I'm gonna wait until I see something that really catches my eye, and then I'll do it, right? And one day, it wasn't this one; it was the one before this one. I found a really cool looking snake avatar, and I was like, that's the one. I'm going with that. Then the rest is history.
Well, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, everybody has their own avatar that they want to represent themselves. But yeah, I see a lot of furries using like the Rex model, like a wolf or a fox or some cats or Nanachis, little guys running around. So when I looked at your channel initially when we were talking and meeting each other at, I think we met at the campgrounds, right? Yeah.
Yes, we did.
The Lazzy campgrounds. So when I saw
Shout
your
out to
avatar,
Lazzy.
yeah, shout out to Lazzy, the dino. But does that mean he's a furry too? Being a dinosaur is a scaly.
Yeah, Liza's 100% a furry, without a doubt.
Damn. All right. Awesome. Anyway, yeah. So when I saw your avatar, I was like, damn, this is a snake. Like I've never seen that before. And it just, I don't know, just caught my eye.
I get that a lot. A lot of people in the furry community tell me that, like you said, they see a lot of like the Nardo Ragans or like the wolves and stuff like that. But they tell me like a lot of times I'm the first like snake Sona they've ever seen, which is weird because this is like a semi-public avatar. Like you can go buy it on Gumroad. Zyrita, the creator, just has it available to buy, but just nobody uses it. And it's a great avatar too.
Damn, what the heck, man? We need more snakes out there, bro.
Yeah. I agree. It's got to be. Come on, get on it, people. Become snakes.
Come on, man. It's like what's the thing in Oblivion Skyrim? You know the Argonians, the lizard people.
Yeah, the Argonians, exactly.
I was
the
right.
Lizard people. We need more lizard people. In
we
this
need
world.
some more lizard people, man. What the heck? And where's the Khajiits at, man? Where's the cat people at, man?
Oh, I actually just met like 2 Khajiits the other night. Those are pretty common.
Oh, okay. We need more snakes. We need more Argonians.
I get the feeling you don't frequent like furry circles all that often, though. So you might, maybe
that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. You don't know, man. I on a Friday night I go to the Concave, bro. That's like Furry Central.
Is that a furry place? I know that one.
Kuncave. Yeah, the person who runs it is a furry. He uses a Nanachi. And every time I go there,
nice.
Like it's 90% furries and like one human, and I'm the one human, and they're always just like imposter, sus.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, a lot of the avatars I see there are like the Nanachi, like the 2 foot tall Nanachi, and I'm like Dami mommy over them, like yo, what up? And they're like, oh shit. So,
in the furry community, you're Dami mommy over most people, whether you're a Dami or mommy in general.
True.
I've discovered.
True. Yeah, there's a lot of. It's interesting, when you meet someone. Have you ever used like a shorter avatar before? Because it's different perspective,
Yeah, very, very rarely I use shorter avatars. That's not really my thing because I don't like craning my neck up. To look
true.
At people. See those? I'm on the taller side. I'm assuming you are too, and so those muscles aren't trained, right? We're not going like this all the time, like shorter people are. You know? So they have like jacked back necks. We don't.
That's true. Well, how tall are you?
6 feet even.
Okay, I'm 5'11". I wish I was 6 foot.
Nice.
With my shoes on, I'm 6 foot. Don't tell anyone. When I have my shoes on, I'm 6 foot.
Yeah, there we go.
That's an extra inch.
Yeah, I'll say you're 6 foot with socks on. That's what I say.
That's funny. Yeah, that's how I feel, man. 6 foot with socks on. Yeah, I thought you were like way tall. I thought you meant like you're 6'5" or something. But no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, because my avatar used to be taller. I used to make my avatar like 6 foot, and I would have to actually do the opposite, crank my head down, and I actually developed neck problems in VR. 100%. I actually had like a really like broken neck or like sore neck all the time. So I made my character 5'6" roughly. Or maybe even shorter at this point. I can't remember. Something like that. And then I just started using play space, so I had to like lower myself like this instead of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because it was pretty strenuous. So that's why I don't have like a tall character. Well, I have avatars that can scale, so I can actually be any size I want. I don't know if you know about that tech.
Nice. Okay.
That's new technology.
Yeah.
Hot off the press. Came out last year.
I've always gotten the feeling that map developers in VR chat like really dislike the furry community. Because there's no standard for the size of our avatars. They're either enormous or like really small. There's like no in between. They're like.
No, I get you. Yeah, I mean, there's some. Okay, if you go to like any Japanese world, it's like made for like a little like people there like below this desk, bro. It's like, bro, I go there and I feel like I'm Godzilla. No pun intended. I'm like, I'm just what the heck is going on here, dude? So I don't know. I get what you're saying. There's definitely an issue of like scaling of worlds and stuff like that. Either you're way too big or way too small, and it's always a concern. That's why I have the scaling thing. Not only in this avatar, but my other ones, I could literally be the size of an ant, or I can be 14 feet tall. So it just takes 2 seconds to change the height, which makes my life easier.
I gotta get one of those.
Oh, it's just a prefab you just download and set it up on your avatar. You have to do it for every avatar. And then you just, I want to be. It goes like, whoop, whoop, it just goes like that. It takes like 5 seconds to
Nice.
switch. Yeah, it's pretty nice. I'm hoping that VRChat adds that natively though, in the game. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
If you ever played any other.
I know some other platforms have that.
Yeah, Neos was the one I was about to mention. So Neos VR, which I played a few times here and there and got to know the devs. Actually, they're all like furries too, programmers. Anyway, they have the technology where you just do this, and then you get bigger, and if you do this, you shrink. You just do the gesture. And then
that's a real hit within the furry community for more reasons than I care to list off. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I just thought that was cool. I was just like, wait, you can just like big mode, shrink mode, I'm just like, damn. Like it doesn't have to be exact like that. It could just be a radial menu and like VRChat like, ooh, I want to be big or want to be tiny. Cause I don't know how often you another donut. Hell yeah, dude. Have you done any like horror maps in VRChat?
A handful, but only because I've been forced to.
Forced to? So is this your friends or your community forcing you?
Yeah, well, other streamers, I remember the Smile Room, right? Really popular horror map that came out a while ago.
That one, yeah.
So when that one came out, my friend Rail the Protogen, hi Rail, had me on a stream, and he didn't tell me what we were doing. He just went, "Hey, Donuts, we're gonna play a cool like VRChat map. Hop on, and we're gonna stream it." I'm like, "Cool, I trust you. Let's go." He didn't tell me it was a Smile Room, I spent the next like 2 hours horrified, right?
Yeah.
and then it gets worse. And so then I finish up with Rail. It was a great stream. It was terrifying. I hated every second of it. And then I'm immediately whisked away to Whiskey Dingo stream to go guest on his as well. And he goes like, "Donuts, hop in VR. I've got this fun map we can play." I'm like, "Oh, don't tell me. Don't do it. Don't do it." I get in. He makes me play the Smile Room again the same night.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, that wasn't fun, but I got through it.
I don't think it was too bad compared to the ones I played. Well, the ones that I'm going to reference don't exist in the game anymore. They deleted them because the creator quit VRChat to go play Chill VR permanently. So you delete all those maps. Yep. But the Smile Room wasn't too bad. The ones I played were a lot worse. I feel like the Smile Room had those moments. Like the doll part where you just have to go for like the jungle gym. That was kind of just, go the right path. I mean, I didn't get jump scared. The green light, red light I never got jump scared. I just kind of was confused in the labyrinth. I was just like, well, I got to stand here for 15 seconds. And I can't remember. Oh, the other one was the hiding one. That was probably the most annoying one. The annoying part where you had to like hide from
that one was annoying. Yeah, that one was like the most like it wasn't scary so much as it was just like kind of like too like buggy.
Trial and error. Yeah, it was trial and error. Yeah, it was just so weird. Like I think that guy struggled with that one a lot. So it was pretty rough.
You see, you're braver than I because you're over there like this is easy. I'll just breeze through it. Meanwhile, I'm shivering in my timbers.
What's it?
Just like friggin' terrified.
No, I'm terrified. No, I actually hate jump scares. That's like my weakness. So when I played Five Nights at Freddy's VR, I had a heart rate monitor. My heart rate went to like 180, and I only made it to night 2, and I rage quit, and I was full on sweating. I thought I was gonna have a heart attack.
God. Well, again, that's the thing with the games like that, like Smile Room and Five Nights at Freddy, is the jump scares are performance-based a lot of the time. So if you don't play the game well, you get scared.
Yeah.
But if you are good at the game, just like the Smile Room, you never get scared.
Yeah.
And, except for that hide and seek one,
Yeah, the hide and seek one was whatever. Yeah, I mean, I also played a lot of horror maps, so I kind of understand how a lot of maps function and stuff like that. I wish you could have played the other one. Well, you ever played The Devouring? That one still exists in VRChat.
The Devouring. I don't think I have played that one yet. I saw the thumbnail and I said no. I think I remember doing that. Yeah.
It's still an SDK2 world, so it will eventually depreciate. I don't think it's as scary because it only has like one jump scare area. You ever play like Amnesia back in the day?
Yes, I did. Yep.
So the water monster that like every time you walk in the water, like the puddle.
Yes.
So there's a whole area that's just dedicated to that. Yeah, there's a huge section that's just dedicated to that. So enjoy that. So you have to keep like running from this water monster. I mean, you can also do it with your homies. You can have like a whole crew of people to like help you out.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it's as bad as like Smile Room, but that's just until you play it whenever that happens. But I thought it was alright. I think the only scary part was the mannequin part, which you'll understand if you do it. That one's pretty bad.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I've never been. Yeah, mannequins to me have never been the same ever since the Condemned on like the Xbox 360.
Oh my! Wait, you played the Condemned?
Game.
Yeah. I played that on Steam because they have a Steam version on PC. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember the mannequin scene?
Yes.
That was.
Oh my! That was only like a year or two ago. I did that for Halloween. I still think Condemned, even though it's like a 10-year-old game, is still a solid survival horror game like that. You go to the mall, and then the people are just like chilling, and then they just turn and like grab you, and like, oh, bro. Yeah, that was spooky, man. That was scary. There's some good stuff you missed. Like, one of the maps got deleted. I think it's still really good. It was called the Scare Zone, and it was like 20 phobias in one map. So
that sounds horrible.
So basically, it was kind of like a room you enter, and there's like 20 doors just around the spawn, and then you just pick what door you want to go through, and each experience is like 5 minutes long max. So one of them was just like hanging limbs, and they're just like, and, like arms like trying to smack you or whatever. And one of them was a mannequin room, but it actually got me a little bit because you go in this room, this mannequin is just staring at you, and then a mannequin will every 10 seconds teleport behind you and just like look at you. Like keep teleporting behind you. They don't do anything if it touches you, but it's like that fear of like I'm being followed. So
yeah, it's just like that Slenderman game. Remember the 8 pages back? Man, what a footprint that game had on like the indie horror market, right?
Oh yeah,
that really like changed the course of that entire genre.
Yeah, I remember playing a little bit of Slender, and then I remember I played like a knockoff Slender. It was called like Werewolf or something like that, where it's multiplayer. So
it was multiplayer.
Yeah.
I remember that, and it was whenever the werewolf caught you, it was loud as hell. Oh
yes,
my God, I hated that. It was so loud.
I did that for like a bunch of YouTube friends like back in the day before I played VR like 10 years ago. I remember doing that, and I actually just took off my headphones and just was playing death. I could, because every time I got caught, it was like, trust me, it was like ear-shatteringly loud. Like it was like, terrible.
It was extremely loud.
Yeah, like way too much. They cranked that to 11, bro. So, yeah, a lot of, I don't know, what other horror games in VR chat are there besides Small Room and Devouring? I'm trying to think of.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, there are ones that are not like scary. Like if you play like Dead Man Walking, that's just like Call of Duty Zombies.
Oh yeah, I've played those kinds of maps. Yeah, those are fun.
I'm just trying to think. There's like there's one that like came out for October, because they have the annual Halloween sort of themed worlds. And one of them was like this map where like it's about like having dementia. So it's
really?
like, yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm trying to remember. Is that really long one?
It's like one where you keep going for the same room, and then eventually like it takes pictures of your friends in the world with you, and then it like starts like blurring their faces, and you're like, who the hell are you?
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I've never actually heard of that. That's actually so cool.
So it's not even like a horror map. It's just like depression, basically. It's like, oh, I'm getting old and I can't remember who you are.
Sad.
Yeah. Beyond Darkness. Oh yeah, I did that one. Yeah, you should do that one. Beyond Darkness. Yeah, I do that one.
I don't. What is that?
It's a map where you just keep walking for like 2 hours and then stuff happens.
All good.
Yeah. And then eventually something happens. And then you're like, oh. Yeah, that one's interesting.
I mean, that's pretty much my VR chat experience in a nutshell. I hop on for 2 hours and one thing might happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's basically that map. Yeah, it's unfortunate. There's not too many. I'm hoping more people make stuff, horror map or not related, because it was interesting. Like that means you'll never experience the Huggies Dungeon series because they're all deleted unless you play Chill VR because he ported them all.
Well. Okay, so that person did end up porting them. I remember that happened like early on in my streaming career, back in like April, May, or something around there.
It was interesting because like it was a horror map, but then like halfway through you like actually do a boss battle. like straight up like parkour and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's like, I defeated you and I'm gonna consume your soul, and then you have to like parkour, like the boss will literally be like a robot that shoots lasers, and you have to like go like oof, you have to like jump like Mario and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I went from a horror map to like boss battle, bullet hell type of thing. It was interesting. So unless you play Chill Out, you'll never like experience it. Unless you watch some old YouTube videos. Like there was one that I never got to finish. The last one he made was Unshattered Destination. I don't know. Maybe you did play that one. No.
Nope. Never heard of that.
Damn.
Nope.
That one was interesting too. It's like you go to a house, and then you get like a camera, and you're like supposed to be like a writer, and then the creepy stuff keeps happening, and it's pretty spooky.
Right.
Yeah. Or the other one I'm trying
Nice.
to think of is WKDS. That one I still think was one of the best horror experiences in VR chat. Again, maybe the same guy. It was 4 different horror maps in one. So every hour, like if you complete them in an hour-ish, is a different horror experience. So one of them is like an abandoned school, and then like there's like some like person that died, and they're like chasing you. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you in like the school, and you're like, oh
Okay.
shit, bro. And then one of them was like about Wendigos. So you're like in like the frozen north or something. What was the other one? One of them was like, oh, so weird. You were in this like cabin with this like old lady, and she's like, all right, you gotta take care of me now. And you're like, uh-oh, okay, Miss whatever the hell her name was, Smith, whatever. And you keep doing all these chores, and then eventually she like starts going crazy. And oh man, that was something, man.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the fourth
Well,
one.
it sounds like I'll never play Chill Out VR then.
Yeah. Somebody will convince you. Sub goal or something like that, maybe. Anyway, enough about horror maps.
Yeah, maybe.
So how did you end up discovering VR chat, and how was your experience during that time?
I knew of VR chat for a long time. Just kind of because I'm a big social media guy. I've just been using social media for forever. And I would see clips pop up pre-2020, but it wasn't until I got a pre-order unit of the Quest 2 that I started actually playing it myself.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how I started. 2020.
Nice. Was that around the same time as like COVID starting, or is it before, or?
It was sometime in the middle, of the pandemic. It was like when, I mean, I can bring it down to a specific day. Whenever the Quest 2 launched, I got mine day one. It's because I pre-ordered it. So yeah.
All right. What got you to streaming? Like, why did you get into streaming on Twitch? Was it from your friends, just yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a content creator for like as long as I've been able to be a content creator, and this is just the natural next step in what I want to do, sort of thing. This is admittedly my most successful endeavor to date. The streaming is, funny enough, a big internet snake. So yeah, take that for what you will about the quality of my content.
No, I gotcha. And I've seen that you've been watching other streamers, so obviously, you and Slushy, and then I saw that you were chilling in Crumpet's chat, so you watch some other VR chat streamers and just hang out.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep my finger on the pulse of the market, try to see what my competitors are up to. Don't want them getting too far ahead.
Okay. All right. I see how it is. Okay. All right. What do you see that your competitors doing? What are they doing, huh? They doing some wiggles because of you?
Better than me.
Oh,
no, they
okay.
No, well, I mean, that's how I got started with the whole VTubing thing. Is like when I sorry, I guess it's sort of the other way around. When I started VTubing, the very first thing I did was I looked up a whole bunch of other VTubers who were similar to me, and I just pretty much copied what they were doing at first. I was like, okay, this person's doing this, and that seems to work. I'll do that. The same with this person, and I just kind of, my stream started out just like an amalgamation of a whole bunch of other people's things thrown into mine with a little bit of donuts flair thrown on top.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see how it is. Yeah. I mean, and you started doing, your own things. Like one of the things that I saw when I was looking at your like TikTok and your YouTube Shorts and Twitter was you started the wiggles, the tail wiggles, which people have been
yes,
obviously doing in the chat. So where did you get them with that? Was it just something?
Are
like,
they?
Yeah, some of them 6-inch
Let's
flinch.
go.
Yeah, they got the wiggles, tail wiggles going.
5-inch.
Yeah. So obviously you had was that just like your own idea, or did you see someone else doing some wiggles as like a fellow content creator? Or
It just kind of happened naturally when I found the snake avatar, because the first one also had a very long wiggly tail, and I when I would dance with my friends and just like VR chat clubs before I started streaming with it, everyone would be like, "Oh my God, Donuts, your tail is so long and wiggly. I love it when you dance like that." And I'd be like, "Oh, okay, all right." I just kind of started doing it more and more. And
yeah, they want some tail. I get you. And then
yeah, oh yeah.
and then
sure.
obviously I watched some of the shorts, and one of them specifically caught my eye. 1 second, I have to like scroll down. Here we go. One of them was about the hypno furry transformation. What was the story behind that one?
Oh yeah. Well, so I just have been kind of so like exploring the furry fandom for me. I'm still all relatively new to it, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of like have just been really fascinated with all the different fixations and just like genres of things that people are interested in the fandom. And like, so I stumbled upon, in fact, I think Harbus is in chat right now. Hi, Harbus. When I met Harbus, he kind of introduced me to what's known as TF, aka transformation, which is a big like thing in the fandom. People transforming, to various things.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make a video like that, and I kind of wanted to play into it in a way that people are already expected from me. And because I'm a big snake, a big stereotype of snakes is that they can hypnotize people.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's a stereotype. I think it just comes from media, but regardless, it is. And so I said, okay, what about a transformation based on VR chat using hypno? And then that was that brainchild, that video.
Yeah, I saw the video. You're dancing in the club, and then you see someone, they're like, hypnotized, and I'm like, what's happening, dude? And then you like black out, and you wake up, and you're like, wait a second, I'm a thick anime furry.
Yeah.
What the? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know.
even if I felt like we find even the furry fan, I feel like that happens in general in VR chat. You get like eye candy, you get like honey potted, you look at like some person, and then you're like, oh shit, that's kind of cute, and then you wake up and you're like, wait a second, bro, I'm a thick anime girl. Oh,
I'm kind of cute.
What the? I'm cute too. Yeah. What the? So I actually like that video.
Water break.
That was funny. Yeah, I always drink.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, that
one in particular is funny you bring that up. I had people like I mentioned, people in this fandom very much so like that sort of thing, and it's kind of to get a little bit more real on the topic, and like why it was so interesting, especially the feedback I got from it, was a lot of people in this fandom suffer from dysmorphia, body dysmorphia for one reason or another, right? And that's why they like to find escapism in their first personas, because they don't feel comfortable in their real body, and so they invent this persona, like almost like this ideal version of themselves, right? And so people, with this condition, or who feel that way very heavily, were watching this video, and I was hearing that they were having like dysmorphic fits. Like they would watch it, and they would want that so bad that they were like freaking out, and they were like trying to watch it over and over again, hoping that it would happen to them. And yeah, that when I first heard that, I was like, wow, like I need to be more responsible with the videos I put out, evidently, because I didn't realize I could have that kind of effect on people. So yeah.
Damn, that's an interesting response. Like a reaction. Like for me, because I just looked at the comments briefly. Like one of them was like a person that wanted like going through transitioning from male to female. So when they saw that video, they're like, "Oh my god, like that's my dream. I want to wake up as like a high anime girl or a furry, like female furry or whatever." Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I've had stories like that with my own friends in the last 5 years of VR chat where they'll boot up the game, they put a headset on, and then they'll like use a male avatar or a female, and they'll be like, oh my god, this is what I want to be in real life. I want to be a dude, or I want to be a girl or a woman, so it's interesting.
Yeah. And VR is great for that, you know? It's it kind of makes me sad that when people hate on anybody else, whether it's from the furry fandom or from the anime fandom, or or like e-boys and e-girls and that sort of stuff, because I mean, really, I feel like so many people use VR as an escape because they don't like who they are, maybe they don't like who they are physically or mentally or where they're at, they're just like their position in life, and so they use it to try to become somebody else for a little bit, and like to make fun of somebody for that version of themselves is so cruel in my mind, and I think that people should check themselves before they like go being mean in VR.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. Like some people are just assholes, they're just mean to people just to be mean. There's always going to be bullies and trolls, unfortunately. It always happens. But I mean, I think VR chat has a lot of safe spaces as well, because like, I've interviewed other people from the furry community. Like I interviewed Whiskey Dingo, and he told me like I was the first anime girl he ever saw in VR chat. He was just like, bro, what the hell? He was like, you're the first anime person. Yeah. He said like he went to the fur hub and just never left. He just hangs out the people in the fur hub. So same thing with Slushy VRC. Right. So same thing,
I mean, I get that, and I suppose that makes me. This comes up a lot with questions for me, but I'm certainly somewhat of an outlier in the furry community because I am what's described as a new fur. So I kind of drew an arbitrary line at one point. I decided April 26th last year, because that is when I started my channel.
Yep.
And when I started streaming as like the snake.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of say like, okay, that is like my date for becoming a furry, right? Yeah. Sure. Like that'll just be it right there. Because now I'm making furry content. So like I was playing VR chat long before that. I've been playing VR chat a lot since then, and I don't just hang out in furry circles. I hang out in a lot of other types of circles as well, far away from the fandom. And it's so weird to me that like this is gonna sound kind of weird, but like I feel like I have imposter syndrome. I feel like I don't deserve the platform that I have, because there are so many people in this fandom and on social media platforms trying to make something of themselves, like furry content, or like trying to be trying to be a star. And they've been at it for years and they haven't gotten there. And here I am coming up out of nowhere. Wasn't even a furry when I started, and now I'm like a quote unquote somebody, and people recognize me, and I get stopped for photographs in VR chat.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm an outlier in a different way, because like I interview whoever I want. Like I don't care if you're a furry, brony, or whatever. Like, like I went to parties specifically where everybody was a furry and I wasn't. Some people were kind of like imposter, but like I just hang out with whoever. I don't judge people just based on their avatar. I judge people based on their actions. So if you're a bad person, then
absolutely.
So it's not about your avatar, it's about who's behind the avatar, right? So like there's many people I know that use booth models or anime or bronies or semi-realism or a robot. Like there's a community I met that everybody's a robot. Like they only hang out with other robots and that's it. So when I showed up, they're like, what is this human doing here? And I'm like, I'm just a human, bro. What up, dude? It was just a bunch of robots. It's the same thing when I went to some communities that are purely just furries and stuff like that. And I'll say this again, when I interviewed Whiskey, he said, man, you could be the bridge between the furries and the anime people, because like you just do whatever you want. I'm like, I don't mind, I don't care. Like it's sad that sometimes people get judgmental. Like I remember years ago, one of my friends came out as a furry. They were using anime avatars for a while, and then they eventually switched their main character to be like a Nanachi furry. And suddenly a bunch of people were like, ew, what the hell? Why would you do that? And then just stopped like associating with them. And I was just like, why? Like, you've known this person for 2 years. All they did was change an avatar, dude. Like, why does it matter? It's not like, they're like telling you to convert or, be like, become one with me. No, it's just like, hey, let's hang out. And they just don't want to associate with them because they use an avatar. Like,
yeah,
bro, what? That's like, it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and it's so funny that because that just reminds me of like when I first started playing VR chat, because this kind of leads into how I became a furry or started making furry content. I went with the mindset, because like I didn't know anybody. I didn't know any like I didn't know what to expect, right?
Yeah.
All I knew is that it was this like flourishing, like state of the art, I guess, social platform. And so I said, I'm just gonna be friends with the people who are nice to me and who feel like they value me. Yeah. Turns out it was the furries. Yeah, So yeah.
No, I gotcha. I mean, I'm not here to name call anyone, but obviously there's some people I knew years ago that just had really bad hatred for like certain specific fandoms or specific groups. It made no sense.
Mhm.
I was always just like, but why? They're just like, well, they're weird, and I'm
Right.
like, dude,
Yeah.
you can find some weirdo that likes anime too. Like, what do you mean? It doesn't matter like what fandom you're
Yeah,
part
yeah.
of. There's always gonna be some weird outlier that does the bad thing, you know. So it doesn't matter what you do, you know. Just don't judge a book by its cover, you know. Just don't look at somebody and be like, yeah, because that's like saying, wow, I don't like you because your shirt's red and it's not green like my shirt, so I can't like you because your shirt's
Right.
red. It's the same bullshit, like randomness of just, oh, you're not
Yeah.
wearing a green shirt like me, so yours red, so yours is bad. It's like, you know, same argument with an
Like
avatar.
you're a House Slytherin. Pfft, we can't be friends.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it feels. It's almost like prison in VR chat, like high school drama, where it's just like, oh, you're not
Yeah,
cool because you're not part of the Tunnel Snakes gang or whatever. That's a
The
Fallout
Tunnel
reference. Yeah,
Snakes.
it's Tunnel.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
should
yeah.
start that. You're a snake.
Tunnel Snakes rule.
Tunnel Snakes rule. Let's go. Yeah, you know, it's the same.
Yeah, I'll be the Tunnel Snakes.
It's the same type of vibe. You know, it's rough out there. So I
Yeah.
always feel bad for a lot of people, and I can understand why certain people only specifically associate, because it's like, you know, if I'm hanging out with, if I was a furry and I was hanging out with other furries, that's like a safe space. I feel fine. But if you were to go to like a public and hang out, someone's gonna be like, ew, gross. You're gonna be like, why would I want to deal with that? So that's why a lot of people, you know, end
Right.
up hanging out with similar vibes people, you know, or even just anything in general. Like if you were, I don't know, like this very specific thing, like the TF stuff, like the transformations, that you're probably gonna hang out with other people that
Yeah.
like that. So it's just how it works. Like it's for anything. Like I know people that make worlds in VR chat, so they only hang out with other world creators. That's it.
Yeah.
Or I know a lot of dancers that are part of the dancing community, only hang out with other dancers. I don't know. I just think I don't like just being in one place forever. It's like being a dancer for the next 50
Yeah,
years.
for
Like
sure.
I want to do and hang out with anyone I want. You know?
I honestly, like, I got bored, like, because like I was like when I was first hanging out with a lot of my friends in VR chat. Sorry, like the furry fandom, you know,
Yeah.
my original crew. Like I loved him to death, but I got to the point where I'm like, there's like nobody else to meet right now. Like I
Yeah.
kind of like started to get a little socially bored, and so that was like a big part is why I started branching out, meeting more like normie streamers and stuff like that. You know, meeting like people who aren't necessarily in the fandom,
yeah.
getting to know them better, getting to understand their experience, their views, stuff like that, and that's really cool too. Because I'll be honest, you mentioned, you know, why would you want to put up going into a public lobby as a furry and then just getting crapped on, right?
Yeah.
I kind of thrive on that. I won't lie.
Okay.
I do that all the time. Like it's my favorite thing to go into just like a very obviously sometimes flamboyant furry avatar.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
usually this one. Usually a different one. Go into just a public lobby, you know, just like one of the popular worlds, and just like wait for someone to like start making fun of me. And I thrive on that. I give it right back to them.
You know, it sounds like content idea. Like you just be like, that's like a
Yeah.
TikTok waiting to happen. You know, basically, it's like this guy hates on furries, and you just like school them and like, you know, shit on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it feels like when I don't know, I just like whoever I want, you know. I don't I just
exactly.
like, I just want to hang out with people and have fun, and you know, I play this game for 5 years.
I keep a colorful group of friends in
Yeah.
VR chat for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, you play it for 5 years. You don't stay playing VR chat for 5 years without escaping
Yeah.
your initial circle. You know,
Yeah,
everybody who plays for that
exactly.
long branches out.
Like just recently I did the 2 avatar showcases in October and December, very successful, and I got to meet like 50 different avatar creators, and they're all wonderful, great people. And in December we actually had a furry category, very like a specific category.
Nice.
And that popped off. Like so many people showed up, not just furries, but like monster girls, like monster like avatars, and like all this crazy stuff. And it was very successful, so obviously people loved it and wanted. It's funny enough, like because of the December showcase, even some people who weren't furries were like, damn, that furry kind of, you know, sheesh, man, Like they're kind of like oh shit. Yeah, they could. Yeah, they're like, wait a second. You know. One of them, I think you were watching. It was Crumpet said that with the.
Oh yeah, well there's a new a lot of the normie avatar creators are starting to catch on to the fact that there's an enormous furry demographic in VR chat, and they all have money. And so they're going to start making like, they're going to start making like furry versions, toggles on their avatars now. I mean, how popular and successful those have already been, I think goes to show how much of a demographic they were missing out on, before. I think they're starting to wisen up to that.
Yeah, we actually had a creator that showed off a snake avatar, actually. She made, it was Dusk. She showed on Gumroad at my showcase in December. So we actually had a snake person avatar. I think the avatar you're alluding to, or at least I'm thinking about, is the Godfall avatar that came out just recently called God Runner. And it has a toggle where it goes 100% anime like me, and then it actually transforms into like a fox furry in the same avatar. Just clicks one button.
Yeah, that's the one. I didn't know what it was called, but that's the one.
It was called God Runner. And like so many of my friends bought the avatar and loved it. And I see people on Twitch streaming in the VR chat category, both anime and furries, like using the avatar, like it's like bridging the gap, because they're both using the same avatar. It's just they can switch between the two. And some people are kind of like, damn, that furry though, shit. Like some of them are like, damn, that kind of hot though. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So Godfall did something really smart there, and maybe I've been telling other creators, I'm like, that might be something you might be interested in, like have an avatar that goes between the two, and you might. Dipping into two different fandoms, So, I just think it'd be interesting. It doesn't have to be like a fox. It could be a different thing. Like, I don't know. It could have like some like human that transforms into
like
be
a dragon.
Or dragon. Yeah, it turn into like a dragon, or it could be. I don't know, a werewolf.
Get on Avatar creators.
Yeah, or a Sasquatch or a vampire. I don't know, some monster girl. Like, let's say it turns into like a normal schoolgirl, and then she like transforms into like fucking some vampire bitch. I don't know, some succubus. I don't know. Whatever, man. So there's definitely some interesting models. I saw someone actually. I might contact Avatar the movie. So someone actually made a female Na'vi. And selling on a Gumroad.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like literally straight out of the game, or straight out of the movie. I was like, what the heck? So, is that classified as a furry, or I actually don't know.
I think it's classified as copyright infringement, but as long as they don't get caught for it.
True, copyright infringement. That's pretty good. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. There's some people that make avatars based off of existing properties. Some of them kind of skirt the line, like with Cryptia Curves. They make all the Five Nights at Freddy's avatars, the thick ones, but it's kind of like not exactly like the animatronic. It's like a furry version. It's like extremely thick, so it's kind of different. I don't know.
Right. I mean that's a concern too, that I think a lot of people have kind of aired over the years that as VR chat, because right now VR chat, and for the longest time, has flown under the radar of a lot of big companies. People have just been able to get away with just like having so much on the platform that it's not really supposed to have, whether it be copyright infringement or otherwise. And as it grows, as a platform becomes more popular and more well known, I think the fear is that those copyright holders are going to start catching on. The lawyers are going to start getting involved. Legality is going to get stepped up, and it's going to get regulated. And so that's that's a concern. I think a lot of people have.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I remember, I don't know if you know about this, but there was an avatar creator that was known as like TDA models, and it was basically a thing you download from DeviantArt, like a base. And it was a male and female, just anime guy, girl model. And what ended up happening was someone took it and then just spread all over VR chat in like 2018. And the guy was making $0 because people would just share the base and then just put clothes on it. And eventually he caught on about it a little too late, and he started DMCAing people for using TDAs. And so that's why if you go on Gumroad for like an anime character, it's never TDA now. It's like a Panda Bear base or Zenfia or Insert X, or like people making bases now because they don't want to deal with the TDA crap, the DMCA stuff. Like my character here is made from scratch. I legally own the patent to it, so I don't have to worry about any like copyright stuff. Yeah, I bit the bullet and spent a lot of money on it, but most people don't. I think most people are okay if they use some of those like Suggs base or whatever, because like it's an actual, you just pay the commercial license $100-200 and then you just But back then it was a lot worse. I think obviously what you're alluding more to is like the people making like Five Nights at Freddy's avatars, the Navi, like straight up just literally a game asset they just recreated and selling on a store, which always is a bit, because it's like, well, you didn't make that, you just, it's like basically making Master Chief and just selling it for like $10. It's like, you didn't make that.
Yeah,
it's a game asset you just ripped from. So. Yeah, but a lot of the creators I involved with don't do that. They kind of make their own stuff from scratch or use like bases that aren't copyrighted like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think at some point, maybe Disney will step in and be like, "Hey, what the hell is this?"
Yeah.
So
it'll be Disney too. Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, we own everything. Now we own you."
No. I mean, VRChat is like,
yeah.
What?
They're gonna buy the Rebel show. Sorry.
I own this, but I get what you're trying to say. They'll just say they're gonna own me. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I always tell people, like, I got my character 3.5 years ago, so I try to tell a lot of streamers, get like your patents written up, even if it sounds dumb, just do it. So yeah, I know that guy. I have a timer. So yeah, it's just tough for some creators and some people. I mean, like, I guess a lot of streamers and TikTokers and stuff actually buy booth models, like the Rendo and Celeste and all of them. Those are all like anime Japanese models, and usually you pay like $100-200 for the model, and then it comes with, well, not every single one, but a lot of them come with a commercial license, so you can use it for streaming or monetization purposes. So
right.
I think it's becoming more of a norm, but yeah, I do worry about those creators that are just like, I'm going to make Animal Crossing characters, and it's like, I'm going to also sell them. It's like, Nintendo's gonna come knocking,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big concern. Yeah, we have like a few minutes here before we have to do the halftime break. I guess I'll ask something really quickly. How was your time playing like retro games like Castlevania? How's that going? I saw you playing that.
Oh, super great. Yeah. I've kind of settled into this really fun rhythm where like half my streams are like VR chat, just chatting or like exploring with friends and stuff like that, and then the other half is just playing like comfort, my personal comfort, like retro games, and I kind of just go back and forth depending on how I feel that day, And so yeah, it's really nice. Because like I'm spacing it now. Oh yeah, like I played another Metroidvania, Super Metroid, for the Super Nintendo a while back. I played Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo a while back too. I like my Super Nintendos and my PlayStations and my N64s because I'm an old curmudgeon snake. But yeah.
No, I gotcha.
But yeah.
All those games are classics.
It's really nice. It's just it's well, because anybody who streams will tell you that doing the same thing over and over again is the fastest way to make yourself not want to stream anymore. And so whenever I feel myself getting a little burnt out on one thing or the other, I just hop to the other thing. So yeah.
No, I gotcha. Like it's burnout, and it's the definition of insanity from Voss from Far Cry 3. Try doing the same thing over and over again, expecting
great game, by the way.
Yeah. Expecting a different result is just insanity. It's crazy. And I mean, that's me when I stream VR chat for 5 years. That's why I want to become like a VTuber and stuff and do like non VR chat games, because it's just craziness. And that's why I have to kind of like go out and find people and find interesting individuals like yourself, because I kind of want to keep my life spicy, not bland. You don't want to eat fried chicken every day or whatever.
Yeah. Gotta go get that KFC. Based off of what you told me, most people don't last as long as you have in VR chat streams
They don't.
scene. I hate to call it that, but yeah, because there have been a lot of personalities over the years, over just the 5 years. I say just the 5 years, the 5 years that you've been streaming,
Yeah.
that have come and gone. Risen to fame, become a prominent figure, and then just fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Some of them fall off. Like I had a lot of friends who just fall off, like have IRL jobs now, or they quit VR chat and become a VTuber. Like that's literally what's happened to a lot of my friends in the last, I would say, year or two. 2 years, a dozen or so of my friends have said like, all right, bye-bye VR chat, and then they get a 2D model or 3D model and do just chatting / VTubing thing in Minecraft, whatever. And some of them have gotten way more popular because of that. And if they didn't do that, then they would be stuck in VR chat spinning like this and be like, oh, man, where's the content, man? What do I do in this game? Because there's very few people that have like a structured show like mine where it's an actual talk show. A lot of the people we're talking about here is doing like they sit in a world, have like a selfie camera, and they're like, hey, guys, I'm quirky and I'm cool. And then how long can you do this? And
Right.
be like, hey guys, I'm streaming here for like 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
kind of gets boring after
I
a while.
learned not very long.
Yeah, you don't last very long still. Still doing things like that. So that's why I ran a talk show. I've been doing it for 3+ years. But that's why, to spice up my life, that's why I had an Avatar showcase that I did late last year. And that's a brand new concept
Nice.
that I started doing and I actually really enjoy it.
That's actually awesome. Yeah, that's like kind of something like that's a great idea. Well, something I've wanted to do for a long time too is use OkayDonuts as not just a one-man show, like a stream where it's just about me all the time.
Yeah.
I kind of want to start doing stuff like this, where like we have a show, you have staff, you have people who contribute to the channel and to and to your platform. I want to become a platform like that, where like people can create things and have them put on display to show others using OkayDonuts as a platform. Kind of a way to get it out there.
No, I got you. Yeah, I feel the same way with doing all these other different concept ideas. But anyway, we're going to take a short break for 2-3 minutes. So if anybody wants to get some water, go to the bathroom, anything like that, we'll take a break. So I have to run over here real quick and set up the Patreon ads. It only takes a second, though. All right, put the camera back on me, please, and thank you. So, yeah, so we still have a minute before the ads, like on Twitch end, but I always explain what you just watched.
Okay.
So basically, what you just watched was 4 ads. Basically, they're from VR chat creators and stuff like that. The first one's from New Eden Interactive, which is run by Marina Dragonflame and Oddoni. and they make their own world. It's actually just coming out, like, I think just a couple days ago. And they also sell avatars, so you can go to the store and buy all the avatars that were being shown. The second ad is Wolfden 3D, which is Zevi and No Fox Given, and they run their own store called Wolfden 3D, and it mostly specializes in monster girls and furry avatars. That's why they had like Ray the Hellhound and stuff like that. And then the third ad was for Gray, and they're also another Gumroad creator, and they sell their avatars like anime, sexy anime girls and stuff like that. And then the fourth ad is Mazon, who's a fellow Twitch streamer who wanted to showcase their Twitch stream. So that's what it is. So yeah, there's built-in ads into this world. So basically, if you didn't know, I have a Patreon. So basically, if you pledge to my Patreon for the $25 or $35 tier, you get to play ads. Every time I do an interview, avatar showcase, podcast, improv, and the chill discussion. So anytime I do any shows in here, you play the ads, and they literally translate to my OBS to my stream. And yeah, they're just, like I said, 3 of the 4 ads are basically for avatar creators because I have a showcase. So when I did the showcase, we have about 2,000 people watching that live on Twitch. 2,000 people watched those ads, and it got them some sales. So yeah, just to show you some cool stuff. And it helps me support the world here and pay for updates and stuff like that. But yeah,
Nice,
I mean,
okay.
anybody can advertise anything. I would like it to be at least something in VR chat because like it fits the theme. So it doesn't have to be like an advertisement
Right.
for a world. It could be like, hey, I'm OkayDonuts, and I'm going to hypnotize you, and I'm going to be turning into a furry. That can be whatever you want. If that's what your video you want, we could do that.
I can't promise that as an ad, but yeah.
All right, I gotcha. I'm just messing, but yeah, it could be whatever. It could be whatever, and I don't know. I just think it's something cool because I have to play ads every hour on the hour because of Twitch and stuff. So it's just a nice little break, and people are like, "Oh, cool." Advertisement for an avatar. Maybe I'll buy one of those, So,
Right.
Anyway, we're back from the
I
ad
get that.
break. I think. Let me check
Cool.
my timer. Yeah, we're good. All right. We are Gucci. Yeah, I just want to make sure because the videos are only 2 minutes long, but the Twitch ads are 3 minutes because I don't have enough ads. Anyway, back where we're talking about. We were talking about what were we talking about again?
I don't remember either.
Chat, help me out here. I can't remember. Anyone paying attention that has more than 2 brain cells?
Here.
Well,
Hold on, I'm gonna put something really important in chat for Harbus. There we go. There you go, Harby.
heck
Cool.
yeah. Oh, we're talking about retro games, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, just talk about how I creating variety content on Twitch. And like
Yeah,
trying to do one
VTubing.
thing. It was a sure way to make it.
See, I remember
You
now.
stick it yourself in your
I
own
remember
stream.
now. VTubers and streamers. Yeah, that one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I was talking about how like people like you were mentioning how I've been playing and streaming for 5 years, so I've seen a lot of people come and go, and that is true. I've seen probably in 5 years 100, 200 people come and go. Some fall off the face of the planet. Some of them still stream here and there or evolve, or they're now VTubers. I would say most of my friends are now VTubers, straight up. And I'm kind of like the old man is like, back in my day, I used to play VR.
Still holding on to VR chat.
Yeah, I'm like the senior citizen. But this year, my big plan is to become a VTuber and take this talk show to VTubing. So, yeah.
You could just become a furry too. I mean, it's kind of exploding right now.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I could do that. But my requirement for that, as I said in my stream, is I have to have like a lot of subs. Like you have to give me. I have to be rich, right? To be a furry, I have to be rich. So I need money. So I mean.
You heard it here first, folks. All right, what's the sub goal? What are we asking? Huh?
I don't know. I said before like 10,000 subs, but that might be too much. That's $50,000. Maybe we'll lower it to like a couple thousand.
Yeah.
Does that sound fair? 1,000, 2,000 subs.
There you go. Yeah. For
On
sure.
Twitch.
I like that. Yeah, I like that your bar is lowering.
Yeah, it's lowering.
You heard it. 2,000 subs.
Yeah, 2,000 subs.
Come on, I need to see Furry Rebel.
Yeah. You know,
All I have is the fan art. All right, in my notebook. All right, it's not enough. I need to see it for real.
So Hubris, how do I pronounce that? Your friend's name? Hubris?
Harbus.
So, thank you. They said, aren't you VTubing now? Technically, yes, I am in VR chat. What I'm talking about is like VTubing outside of VR chat, because some VTubers think VR chat's stinky, and they're like, ew, VTubing in VR chat doesn't count. So like VTubing outside of VR chat, like the Just Chang section, it would be not in this game, not in VR. A lot of VTubers, don't play VR, so they get a lot of motion sickness and stuff like that. So they do a lot of live 2D, which is a 2-dimensional avatar. and you'll see it all over Twitch and stuff. But anyway, yeah, maybe I'll do 2,000 subs. I'll get a furry. I mean, that'll probably give me some spicy there, bro. I'm down.
All right, 2,000 subs. That's like around $5,000, right? Okay,
Yeah,
I can probably
give or take.
factor that in my budget this year.
Yeah, I could fit that in my budget.
Yeah,
I mean, I know some
like
I have some creators from the showcase that specifically make furry avatars, and some of them are like, bro, damn, bro.
It's like, shit.
Yeah, they probably hook me up. They could probably hook me up.
Even me, somebody who's like kind of like, I always say I'm a fake furry for the imposter syndrome reason I said earlier.
Yeah.
But even I'm starting to get to the point now where I'm like, I'm seeing other furry avatars. Like I have one that I've been experimenting with lately, making some videos, and I'm like, this is kind of nice. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, this is kind of cool, you know? So yeah.
Yeah. We'll get
There's
some
something
oil
out there for
prints.
everybody. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get some oiler to come in and be like, oh, only 2,000 subs? Here you go, dude. All right, get the app. I'm like, oh, shit. All right, dude. I can finally fit in. Then when I go to the concave, they're kind of like, oh my god, he is a furry. Oh, okay. Instead of like, imposter. You know?
Yep.
Yeah, my only condition is it has to look like my OCI, because I don't want to just buy like a model and just be like, yeah, I'm a furry. Like I want to like have something that looks like, you know what I mean? Like a furry version of this. That's my only stipulation.
Oh, you mean a persona?
Yeah, obviously.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah. Let's get you one of those.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. Will like half my friends leave me and be like, hey, what the hell? And then the other half would be like, oh my god, I love you suddenly. We'll see, you know.
Yeah. You wouldn't want the bad half anyway, right?
That's true. Yeah, I mean, listen, if someone just changes their opinion because I use one avatar that's different. I mean, I already had that. I used to, if you didn't know this, I want this interview to be about me, but I actually played as a dude in VR chat for like 2 years. Like just an anime guy.
Mm-hmm.
And when I switched to the female, I even had people being like, ew, you're just not an e-girl, bro. I'm like, what? Come on, man. So, like, it doesn't even matter. I could just switch gender, and people are like, ooh, what the hell? Just some guy or just some girl? Like, what the hell, man? So, some people are like a deer with red hair and glasses. Maybe. I don't know. I have to do one of those. Don't I have to do like a quiz or something? How do I figure out my persona is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, the best way to figure it out is to have somebody who's like very talented in the scene, usually an artist. You know, they're good about this.
Okay.
Ask them, you know, if their commissions are open, be like, hey, can you just like, you know, here's who I am as a person. This is what I do. You know, this is what I look like. You know, here's, you know, like your avatar and all that. Be like, can you make me a persona? And they'll make you one. You know, they'll just come up with one.
They'll probably be like, all right, you have to give me like a couple grand first. They're gonna be like, they're gonna like, give me some money, dude.
Obviously, some have high rates, but for a lot of people, what get them in the fandom is, you know, their friends do that for them. You know, and they see their persona that somebody else made for them, and they're like, oh my god, like that's so cool. You know.
Yeah. All right. We'll see one of these days. A good ref is 200 easy. All right, Jim. We'll see, man. I mean, I have a lot of goals. Like, one of my goals is to, not besides being a furry, like you just said, but, like, become a live 2D VTuber. Right. That's, like, my current goal. Like, that's why there's a goal down below for. So I have a lot of things. I can't just be like, all right, fuck this goal. Let's do this other thing. So I kind of want to, you know. But I will, I mean, if someone does, if I get 2,000, I mean, I never hit 2,000 subs. The most I ever had was 1,600 on Twitch. So it might happen one of these days.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I say wow because that's way more than I've ever had.
Oh, that was years ago, though, man. I got like sub 100 now. That was years ago, man.
Right.
That was a long time ago. I was doing different things. Anyway, so do you think you ever get where you are today with streaming on Twitch, or is this still like, whoa, what the? I have so many people watching me. What happened?
I did not think that I would get this far on this channel.
Really?
Like it's weird how your expectations just get thrown out the window, you know, so often with this sort of stuff where like I spent, you know, I tell people all the time, I have been doing content creation online for like over a decade, you know, for a very long time. You know, I uploaded my first YouTube video in 2007.
Damn.
It's so I've been at it for a while now. I understand how it works, you know, from the front end to the back end to everything in between. And I've, you know, have my finger on the pulse of the market. And so to go from seeing such middling success with all my other stuff to suddenly putting on a snake avatar and I'm seeing all this incredible success out of nowhere, I'm like, it's a little frustrating, you know, because it's like I didn't change anything other than now I'm a snake. It's frustrating because it's like you never realize like what is that chemical X that you need to really pop out, you know, to really make your channel and your platform succeed.
Yeah. You know, I could always do like what my friend Buff Pup does. She's not a furry, but the avatar is like 80% furry. It has like furry, you know, just do that.
And she uses the furry tag.
Damn. So is that my plan? I'll just be like 100%. Dude, I'm not a furry, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah.
This is just
meanwhile, your tail's like swaying in the
yeah.
background.
What are you
Like,
talking about,
it's not
dude?
real.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Anyway,
where is my? There we go.
do you have any hobbies outside of VR chat and streaming? Like, what do you do in your spare time that's not streaming and not VR chat?
Sure, all sorts of stuff. A lot of creative stuff, you know, like when it comes like arts. I'm also big into like fitness and just like exploring and hiking, you know, because I live in a pretty rural area with a lot of mountains, so that's fortunate I can do that. And I like, you know, working out and all that, maintaining my health and all that. But I also really like, you know, I'm a songwriter. I've actually been meaning to put out some music here pretty soon in like an actual way that people can listen to it. And I'm also a filmmaker by quote unquote trade, you know, so because I've done a lot of that before I started being a snake on the internet. But yeah, a lot of the arts, you know.
Sorry, I was just reading chat. It's like I'm also into fitness. Fitness, whole pizza in my mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got you, man. That's good. It made me chuckle. Oh man, I got you. What's the biggest compliment someone
Of course it was Harvest.
Yeah, it was. What's the biggest compliment someone has given you about your streams or content?
I feel like are you reading this from chat? Because I feel like the person asking this might know the answer.
What? I have my own list of questions. I can ask some chat questions in a bit. Yeah.
No. I was just curious. But yeah. So I actually brought this up recently, so it's funny you asked. I get a lot of DMs, obviously, as a content creator, and people are constantly like telling me one thing or another in private in my inbox. My favorite DM I ever got was a few months ago. So you know, a big part of my stream is the big wiggly tail, right? This thing back here, and it's not just mine. You know, I've done entire tail review streams where I have people submit their like reference sheets, like their personas, and then I like will review like the tails on their persona, and those have been really popular in the past. And I always call my community the Giga Chad tail enjoyers too. And so one time somebody slid into my inbox and they said, "Donuts, like I've always like really loved tails on like furry characters. I always think they're so cool, but I was always too like self-conscious, you know, to say anything. I was always too scared, you know, too embarrassed about it until I saw your videos and your streams, and you made me open up about it, and you made me realize, you know, that there's a community for this stuff. So yeah, that was probably the best thing I ever got in my inbox right there."
Oh yeah. That's nice. How's your experience with MFF? Because when I first met you, you were just about to go to that. So how did that go? Which is Midwest Fur Fest. If feels what that means.
Yep, Midwest Fur Fest out in Chicago. It was fantastic. I would describe it as formative. It was you know, because I had spent my entire year since April, you know, through December, making content and getting to know all of these other content creators and other personalities within the fandom, you know, who operate on social media. And then at MFF, they were almost all there. It was awesome. It was like everybody I'd ever met online in VR chat, or like we played games on Telegram, or I mean on Discord, or just like met on Telegram, or like streamed with, you know. And then we were all physically there and able to like actually hang out and talk and have a good time together. And that was so cool to like see that there, because you know, when you're playing online, there's like that disconnect between like, is it a real person or not, you know? And obviously in your head, you know it is, but it's hard to really realize that until you see them in person, you know? And being able to see all my friends in person, you know, right in front of me was just so cool. And it made me realize that like, you know, this is the community of streamers that I'm a part of. They're all working so hard, you know, and everyone's here because they've worked hard to be there, you know? And so I'm like, it's really inspiring and motivating, and like I said, was formative to me because it made me realize it was like the accumulation, yeah, of all my work up to that point. Yeah.
I gotcha. Do you have any do you have any fond memories you had with your friends while in VR chat? And I mean fond by not the small room, besides the small room.
Yeah. I do look back on that fondly, even though I hated it in the moment. Yeah, I mean more than I can count. And I'm also a photographer by trade. And I take a lot of photographs in VR chat, and I am so grateful that that's a habit I got into, because boy, oh boy, I mean, I'm sure if anyone who's played VR chat long enough like yourself, you've had a lot of nights you don't remember in VR chat when you're hanging out with a good crew.
Yeah.
And so, like, I have pictures, just thousands upon thousands, going all the way back to the day I first started playing. And so, it's nice. It's like a little time capsule. I can go back, I can scroll through and be like, oh, here's that night. I kind of remember that night. It's like, this is when I met this friend, or this is when I met that friend, So, yeah.
I always tell people the biggest regret, besides other numerous things in VR chat, is not taking enough photos.
For sure.
Because
take photos, people.
Take photos, man. If you're at the club, the homies, just be like, hey, come in, hey, let's go, hey, take a photo and be like, yeah, like for New Year's, I took a lot of photos because like sometimes I don't see people for like a good year because they only come on for New Year's. So I always take photos and you look back on them and you're like, damn, that was a fun night. So, yeah, take more photos, gamers. Just trust me. Like for example, I actually take photos with every single guest. So after the interview, I always take a photo of every guest, and I started actually posting them in the group. What do you call it? The VR chat group. So in the gallery for the Late Night Rebel group, actually has not every single one, but just a good chunk of them because you can't add every photo. You can only have like 64. So I added like 40 of the last interviews I've done. Yeah, but I have a folder of all the interviews I've ever done on my computer. So just to go for the time and be like, wow.
Also, hi, Lele.
Hey, what's up, Lele? The memories are worth it, exactly. So, we're coming up on, what time is it? 1:20. So we're not going to be ending anytime soon. I'm just making sure that obviously people in the chat and the audience and stuff like that get to ask some questions as well. Where do you I guess my final question really is like, for my questions is like, how do you come up with the ideas for like shorts or TikToks? Do you just look at other people and be like, oh, I can recreate that? Or do you just like, man, like you just like sit somewhere like, man, like what if I like did this thing and it was like this and I was like wiggling my tail and then like out of nowhere like pizza. I don't know. Like
yeah, I mean, a lot of it's weird to describe, but like a lot of my creative process is just in here, because like a lot of people, that is a very common practice on TikTok, and I'm not going to bash on it because obviously it works, but people just taking other people's ideas, aka their sounds, and then just doing the same thing but with them, and that's totally fine. It's kind of uncreative and leads to a lot of very similar recycled content, but it serves its purpose in terms of entertaining the algorithm. But I've never really worked from that angle. I don't necessarily care if something on TikTok does well, because that's not my primary platform. I just like to put stuff out there because I just enjoy putting stuff out, and if it does well, then it's awesome. But yeah, my idea is literally I just have them. I don't know. It's hard to describe. I will just be playing VR chat and be like, oh, that's a good idea. And then I'll just go do it.
That's me when it comes to doing photos and stuff, because I take a lot of photos of my avatar, winky face. And what I do is I just look on Twitter and then I'm like, wow, that's a sexy pose. I could do that. And then I do it. And then I just save it for later and then I just recreate the pose. And then I'm like, wow, I look cool.
Nice.
Sick. And then post it. And
nice.
And then you get that dopamine, that serotonin. I'm like, wow, everyone loves me and they think I'm cute. Smile, blush emoji, So, that's what I do. I guess my final real question is like, do you have any other plans for 2023? Obviously, it's just January, but any 6 months from now, maybe, far in the future, like, hey, I really wanted to do this, whatever that is.
Yeah, lots. Tons and tons and tons and tons. I mean, my scope for OkayDonuts, like I mentioned before, is
Yeah.
a lot bigger than just me being a streamer, like I mentioned before, of just being like, I don't want to just be a one-man show all the time. You know, I
Yeah.
want to expand. I want to build on OkayDonuts as a platform. I want to have other people working on it with me, you know, like a team, and like doing more stuff than just streaming, you know, or just necessarily videos or, you know, things of that nature, making more types of content, coming up with new innovative just things we can do, you know. I like that idea. And I've got a lot of stuff very vaguely brewing up in my brain about how I'm going to do that or what it's going to look like.
Yep.
But nothing solid quite yet.
Okay. We'll start taking some chat questions here, audience questions. Before we do that, any questions for me? Just curious.
From me personally?
From
yes,
you
I
to
had
you.
one earlier.
Yeah.
Give me
Yeah.
a second. I had one earlier. I had a question about. I want to know. It was a certain type of guest.
Okay.
Let's see. Has a guest ever made you cry?
Cry. Well, like my avatar is like think. I don't think so. I don't. There's definitely some like inspirational moments or like thing that's like some people talked about like some really depressing things. Or like moments of like, oh my god, like that's super incredible that it almost brings you to tears. But I don't think I've ever like cried.
I see. But you've been moved before.
Yeah, I've been moved before. Like I interviewed Ray. I don't know if you know who that is, but Ray, their name is Ray is deaf, and they're a deaf person in real life, and they play VR chat and they know ASL, which is American Sign Language, and I interviewed them. And I had an ASL. I had a person that could obviously is hearing and also knew ASL, so they could translate what I was saying in real time to them. And we did the interview, and I didn't know this until after the interview, but there was actually like hundreds and hundreds of people that were deaf or from the Helping Hands community, which is the community that's for deaf people in VR chat. They were all watching the interview. And they're all like glued to the screen, kind of like they're sitting like in a VR chat world on a sofa watching the interview on a TV, and some of them took pictures and showed me like, yeah, we were watching your interview like in VR, and like we were like listening, and they were like, you know, looking at the ASL and stuff.
That's so cool.
I was like, what? I was like, huh? Like that's crazy. It's because I was like the first person to like interview a deaf person in VR chat, really, on a talk show like this.
Right.
And then when I posted the VOD to YouTube, and the VODs never really get any views anyway, but for that specific interview, somebody, I don't know who, but somebody actually went out of their way to caption the whole interview. So anybody that's deaf could actually read what I was saying the entire time.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So someone out there took the time to do that. So that was a very
shout out to that person.
Yeah, shout out to that person. Shout out to Ray and Jenny. Jenny was the one that was the ASL. She's a teacher. She teaches ASL in VR chat. So that was an interesting moment for me. Like that was like very moving for me, because I wanted to take the challenge to like interview someone that was deaf, you know. And I also interviewed someone that was Japanese. They only knew how to speak. So I had a Japanese translator. And I also interviewed a Korean. South Korean that can speak English. So I've done like challenges. I've also interviewed mutes, like people that just don't talk at all or want to talk.
Right.
So I I've done like 30 of those interviews, and I figured out my own way to like interact with them and like talk to them. And some of them use like the speech bubble stuff now, but that wasn't the thing back in the day.
Yep.
So yeah. There's a world for that too as well.
Nice.
I go there from time to time to learn how to understand. Yeah, there's a ASL teaching world. One of them is made by Mr. Mr. Dummy.
I gotta get to that place too.
NL. He makes he's not the only one, but like he made a world that teaches you ASL. There's also classes you can go and learn. It's like almost like a classroom. You sit there and you learn for a couple hours. And like Ray is actually one of the people that goes up, teaches it as well, in a couple of them. So it's very cool stuff.
Nice.
Any other questions? Yeah, for me.
Nope. Thank you.
So we'll get to.
Well, actually, can I have this cup of coffee right here?
Sure, you have to click on the pickups again at the menu because you turned it off. So you have to.
Right. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah. You have to turn it back on.
Bear with me. Hold on. Which one is it?
It's your right ear to the
It
right
won't
side.
go.
So you have to like do like what I'm doing, like you're like a secret agent, and then you don't grab it, you just press trigger.
Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay, cool. Let me enable pickups. All right. This is important, chat.
Yeah, immersion. Yeah. So we got.
Can I get my close up?
Yeah. There you go. So we got from Lele Wolf 14. They asked a question. Where is it? They asked a question. What's something you want to see in the future coming up about the community?
Like the furry community, Lele?
I guess.
What she means? Hold on.
They just said about the community.
Let me read that.
Well, it wasn't in my Twitch chat. It was in my Google document. So.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, I'm just reading it as it's written.
Got it. Okay.
So they said about the community. So I don't know if that's your community or the furry community or the VRChat community or.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's referring to maybe my community, well, her and our community, where we Lele is one of my original.
Oh, okay.
I talked about friends who kind of pushed me in the direction of furry. She's one of them.
Okay.
So, hi, Lele. Yeah. I'm trying to think. Like, I've recognized for a long time now that the furry community is in this booming phase for the past year or so, where it has just been growing exponentially since I've joined. And yeah, it's been kind of crazy because like, and it's funny because so when I first made my account, like on Twitter, like via OkayDonuts the Snake, I did a lot of research. I looked at all the other content creators. I was like, okay, how many followers does this person have? Who's who? Who's got like a lot of followers? You know, who's only got like some? And all of those people I took a note of. One, they're great people. They're my friends now, which is cool to say. But two, they have doubled their followers since I've joined at the very minimum. So like that is telling me one, everyone's stepped up their game, and two, the fandom is growing very quickly right now. And those people are getting more attention than they were, before. And so yeah, I think I'm very excited to see where we go from here. And I don't know, a little nervous at the same time, because it's like I think a lot of us creators are in a very special position right now that we might not recognize that we're in a position to influence the fandom for better or for worse.
Yep.
I think that I'm going to try to do my little part in pushing it in the right direction.
Yeah,
and you should too.
I didn't mention this, but I might as well now. Like, there's a convention in VRChat. Maybe you've been to it, maybe you haven't yet. Called Ferality. It happens every year, and
I'm actually on staff.
Oh, okay. So I didn't go last. Well, no, I did actually go last. Sorry, I'm thinking because I'm stuck in 2022, so my brain's a little fried. But I went to the last one. I didn't go to the live instance. I went to someone gave me a code to the dealer's room, so like I just wanted to see the avatars and stuff. I was blown away by the amount of like detail, like how organized it was. It was organized to like 2D art, 3D art, 3D models, IRL stuff. I was like, what the hell? This is like more organized than like any VRChat event. Like, what the hell? This is like catalog. Anyone with OCD would be chilling, bro.
It was kind of like groundbreaking too. Like the last one, Ferality Aqua, broke a ton of records, not just for the fandom, but just for VR events in general and just online events in general. It was, I don't remember the exact record, but I think it was the largest at the time furry convention, and obviously the largest convention ever held in VR. You know? And so like it was just like doing so much like really groundbreaking stuff that we just people aren't giving it the attention it deserves because it's for the furry fandom. But no, it's doing some crazy stuff. They've been putting the work in.
Yeah, I was
paving the way for other types of conventions to come for sure.
Well, it's a massive deal. I always joke to the VRChat devs. I'm like, why don't you hire these people that make these worlds to like work for VRChat? And they're like, oh, they cost too much money. They work for like NASA and Google and shit. I'm like, oh, that's why.
Exactly.
This is just their like side hobby. They're just like, yeah, we'll just make a convention and just do it. Because some of the worlds are crazy. There's like a furry world that was made a couple years ago about like a hotel, like a German hotel. And it was like you had to get like your key card and like everything. I was sick. I was like, what the heck? And like another point I mentioned before, like the fur hub. Like, so normally when you play VRChat, I don't even know if people go to like the VRChat hub anymore. But that used to be, if you didn't know, you used to spawn into the hub. Like that's how it was 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So every year VRChat would get a new hub world. People just spawn into like the default like home world now. But I guess like a lot of the furries were like, that world stinks. Let's just make our own. So they made their own fur hub, which has like, I haven't been there in years, but
Yeah.
like last time I did, it had like advertisements for avatars, communities, and then like wasn't there like a room you go in, it's like 500 pieces of art. I'm like, holy crap, dude! What the? This world's better than like.
It's hopping. If you haven't been there for a while, I would recommend going. It's really cool.
I'm like, what the heck, man? This is like a different game, bro. Like what? They have all this organization. I'm like, bro, dude, hire more furries to work on VRChat. This game would like fix itself. Actually, if you didn't know, the person who worked on Physics Bounds, well, I'm pretty sure was a furry for VRChat. So boom, there you go. So just hire more furries.
The person who invented face tracking for VRChat is also a furry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Just hire more furries, dude. Your game will become like big brain, biggest game ever. You just hire everybody. Just be like, oh, you're okay. Marking you. I'm hiring you.
right. Well, that's the dystopian that normies are afraid of. On your resume, that's gonna be like something that people will hire, like people hiring are gonna want to see. They're gonna be like, are you a furry though? Because like those guys are kind of lit. Like those guys are skilled.
Yeah, exactly, man. Anyway, we'll look at some more questions here. So this is another one from Jib. Jib says, what was your perception of the furry community before joining?
Very just, neutral. I didn't ever personally make fun of them. I was wise enough to, realize that they're just a different group of people with a different group of interests than I had at the time, And so, yeah, that's very neutral. Very kind of a boring answer. Sorry. I didn't stuff furries into lockers or anything like that. I
gotcha. Any other questions from the Twitch chat? Like that was from the Google document. So anyone who wants to just write a question in just the chat, I'll answer right now. We'll answer. No question goes unanswered.
Yeah. Come on, chat. I want to answer your questions.
Yeah, answer. And OkayDonuts will answer all your questions. And if anyone has any questions for me, I'll answer them too. So, because we're going to be wrapping up shortly. It's been an hour and a half, so a little bit more time, and then we'll get going here. Interested in suiting at all? It's been a dream of mine since I was super young, but a lot of people have no interest at all. So I guess that's a question. Are you interested in like getting a suit, like a fursuit?
I certainly caught the itch briefly when I went to MFF, because at MFF it was like the biggest in-person furry convention, and so there was just like a lot of my friends all had these super awesome, very detailed, well-made, expensive fursuits that they would wear, and that's a big part of the culture too. Is a lot of people have that. A lot of people have those suits.
Such a tight little space.
And I have never personally felt the need or desire rather to have one of those.
Yeah.
Only because I think this kind of does it for me, and I think a lot of people feel the same way. This already allows me that escapism, getting in VRChat and being the snake, and I feel like people who came before me, and a lot of legacy furries, obviously didn't have this, and so fursuiting was the next best thing.
Yeah.
And I just plus I floated this on Twitter a while back. The team of engineers it would take to design a tail like this that actually function on a fursuit would be too expensive. It's like above my budget. So that's a big limiting factor for me right there.
I gotcha. Makes sense. Ask Donuts, am I going to see more of his new avatar? It fits him? Question mark. Lele asked this.
Yes, you will. As a matter of fact, I have a few videos that are using it coming out relatively soon.
Well, yeah, there you go. Thoughts or opinions on tails, paws, pobs, and maws?
So this is the big funny thing in the fandom is historically, it has been maws versus paws.
Okay.
In the more recent months, I have done such a good job of popularizing tails that people have begun to say maws, paws, or tails now. And they, yeah. And obviously I'm a little biased, but I like my tails. Other people are more into the pobs and the mouths and stuff like that. Everyone's got kind of like their own little primary fixation that they're allowed to have, and it's totally fine. And I love it.
So
I just
So the maws is the feet, I'm guessing.
No,
The
paws.
paws.
Paws are the feet. Maws is the mouth.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so maws is your mouth, paws is your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Then what's your hands?
Yeah. I guess. Well, so paws, beans, as they're
Toe
called,
beans?
are
Yeah.
like the things like you ever see like you know like a dog and a cat, right? They have like the beans. Yeah, a lot of avatars have that, and those are called like either pobs or beans.
Hey, you can get those IRL. You just gotta work a lot. It's called calluses.
Yeah, you gotta play the guitar.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, with your fingers without the pick? Yeah, that'll do that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I take it
No,
you
with your
done
toes.
that?
If you want to get
Toes?
real
Oh my
the
God.
pobs in real life, just play the guitar with your
Oh my
feet. Yeah.
God. Yeah, play with your tongue.
Oh God. Who did that? Gene Simmons.
Yeah, one of those metal to guitarist people did that. My first tail is 7 feet long. Damn, that's long. Tails are the
Yeah.
best.
Wait, their persona or their suit? Because when I went
first
to MFF,
They said.
yeah, so that's the impressive part right there. Anyone can make their personas tail as long as they want. The challenging part is making an actual suit out of that, right? So I was very impressed with some of the ones I saw at MFF. They were like 10 feet plus. Like they were enormous.
Damn.
Very, very proud of the fandom for that. Yeah.
I worry, like, don't you like overheat because you're wearing like basically like a winter jacket, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't speak for everybody who wears one because I've actually never worn one, but that is an issue I hear about a lot. As a matter of fact, this MFF, there was it became kind of like a dark meme surrounding it because it was every 15 minutes there was a ambulance pulling into the convention center, picking somebody up who had passed out in suit because they overheated.
What?
It was like it's just a constant rotation of ambulances. Yeah.
Oh my God, what the heck? Damn.
Yeah, I know. People.
It's because they saw your tail,
well,
bro.
I think a lot of it too is because they just got too hot and bothered. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I get that. Well, a lot of people too. You know, there were a lot of first-time suitors there who don't know that you have to be very careful with how you conduct yourself in a suit because you will overheat very quickly.
Damn. That's crazy. Didn't think about that. Would you make a music video of the music you produce and release in VR?
Yeah, kind of like Whisper. I don't know if you know Whispers. They're also a VTuber, and they're primarily a musician, and they're also a furry, and they make just that, where they make original music or covers, and they're very talented and good at it. But they shoot videos in VR chat with like their persona for like music videos. I may or may not have plans to do something like that, but you'll just have to wait and see.
Okay. To the future, gamers, you gotta follow and check out OkayDonuts VRC on Twitch. Stay tuned for that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Some people are just saying get some fans. Yeah. Get some. Just get a bunch of fans in your suit. You know? Just like get a computer water cooling system. You know.
Yeah. Well, that's literally what people do. Is like there are fans made to like put in your suit.
That's crazy. Or I guess if it was really cold out in like the middle of the winter and then you just had the convention outside, smile. You're like, yeah, I'm suited up, bro. I'm ready.
Yeah, that was a big thing too at MFF. You know, it's Chicago in December. Whenever people got hot, they would just walk outside, and it was like the people would tell me, it's like, this is so nice. It just feels like I'm in like a nice like regular room right now.
Last question we'll take here from Bone Pone, and they said, "Are you going to attend Las Vegas for a con?"
I have been being encouraged heavily by key players to attend that one, but I am still on the fence about it for a number of reasons, mostly personal, just because you know, like just like travel is ready and budgeting and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, big maybe.
I get you. So anyway, we're going to be wrapping up here. It's been an hour and 40 minutes. I hope you enjoyed our time here. So any last minute things you want to say? Like, hey, shout yourself up if you want, any upcoming events or streams or anything like that. If not, you know.
Sure. So follow me. That's pretty much all I can think to say. You know, find me on Twitter. I'm always posting new stuff there. Find me on Twitch. Find me on TikTok. Find me on YouTube. I'm on all the different platforms. Stay tuned. Pay attention. There may be opportunities for the viewers relatively soon. So yeah, to be more involved.
Oh snap! Okay, damn. Again, twitch.tv/ OkayDonuts VRC. And also, if you type that in, I'm sure you can find your Twitter, your YouTube, your TikTok. Because I found it in like 2 seconds, so it was not that hard. Just type your name and get all your links.
Yeah,
and
just
stuff
look
like
up OK Donuts on any platform. Will turn me up pretty
absolutely.
much.
Watch the Hypno video. Something might happen to you too. You know?
Yeah, you never know.
But thank you so much. Hopefully you had a wonderful time for this interview. Thank you again. If you haven't already, hit that follow button. I do interviews once a week, sometimes once every bi-weekly. I probably have another interview next week with another individual. And thank you, everybody, for the follows, the subs. Thank you for that raid. That was a while ago. Dora THH. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. We're going to be signing off here. We're going to go raid somebody from the VR chat community or one of my friends. All right, take care, everybody. Much love.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching. I love you. Mwah, mwah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. What we'll do is once I raid somebody, we'll take a photo.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Let's raid Gap. Playing some games.
Gap, I know them.